AppDynamics data collectors provide a way to help you diagnose issues by adding context to a transaction within a business transaction snapshot. We'll open up the snapshot, for example, and look at the flow map detail. And inside the flow map detail, there is a tab here called Data Collectors. This is useful when you want to see like a customer number or a geographic location or a product group that may be influencing performance of your application. Or maybe it's a customer number that may help you find, you want to look for certain snapshots for certain types of premium customers, gold, silver, platinum, things like that. So in my example here, I've got a data collector for cart total. So cart total, I'm looking at a value here for this particular app snapshot as 100. Now, how do we go ahead and configure that? Well, we configure that from our application. Let's go back to our application and look at cart total, how we set that up. So within our Java application, we have a package name, we have a class, and down here we have a method. So let's go ahead and use that information to actually configure a data collector. So if I go to configuration of the panel, instrumentation, and data collectors, I can go ahead and set up a data collector using those property items. Let's go ahead and look at one of those items that have already been set up for cart in my example. So you can see I used the fully qualified class name for my code, the method, and then the actual name, which is cart total, for example. So each of these parameter values can be identified and collected from the code based on a method parameter index, return value, or invoked object. And then the operation return value can be set using a string or through a getter chain. So this one's using long value. Let's look at another one for top item. Similar setup. This one is going from an invoked object and using a getter chain, get type item, get title. So this is pretty much how you set up method invocation data collectors. If we look at other type of data collectors, HTTP data collectors, these can be captured through a business transaction snapshot, and this adds business context. So if you want to look at collecting that from your HTTP requests headers, you can go ahead and look at identifying your parameters, cookies, session keys, and or headers that you want to be able to collect from your application. And again, this will provide that capability for you to go in through your business transaction snapshots. I'm going to go back to my checkout transaction here. And again, looking at the same snapshot, I can now look at those data collectors, right? Or I can go ahead and say, filter on a certain data collector that I want to be able to get information from. So maybe it's top item, and I don't know, let's see if I have one here for orange. And I do. So I'm going to go ahead and look at the ones for orange. Okay, it's one of my items that I have, and sure enough, top item, clockwork orange, right? And you can see also my other parameter that I'm collecting from the data collector is cart total as well. So again, these provide me a very quick way of helping to determine whether whether data that a transaction is passed into an application is causing a problem. And when you configure data collectors, AppDynamics accesses information in the application code arguments, return values, and getter chains, and displays the information in the call graph data panels. Data collectors are also used to collect data for analytics as well. So if I want to go into analytics, I can go ahead and set up similar data collectors, again, using a very similar metaphor. If I go to manual transaction, I indicate my application. Again, I have the same data collector set up. It's collecting analytic data as well. The difference is not only including method invocation data collectors and HTTP, I also have the ability of collecting SQL parameters within a business transaction value from database that can be executed by the business transaction. This property sheet looks like this, where I indicate the actual call, any data that I want to add to the query, and how to collect that data, right? So again, just one more capability on the property sheet for analytics. Now the trick is when I'm configuring a collector for analytics, I have a couple things I want to make sure that I do. Number one, I want to make sure I provide a fully qualified class and method name. And of course, my criteria here is similar to what I've seen for standard method indication data collectors, right? Where you collect data from the parameter, return value, the object, set it to string, or use a getter chain, right? But the difference is when I qualify this, I want to assign it to a specific business transaction. So as I'm building these, I want to be able to go ahead and say, I want a specific business transaction assigned to it. So when you open up and populate and set up a collector for analytics, you're going to go ahead and identify a specific business transaction to associate with that collector. Now, this is important because when doing this, don't assign every single business transaction to the collector. A variety of customer issues we've noticed that have come up where we've had fully qualified class and methods look at two separate MIDCs, method indication data collectors, for business transaction 1 and business transaction 2 that were being hit and likely collected the same data twice. This can result in issues with collecting the data and other types of undesirable results. To avoid this scenario, just basically choose the business transaction you wish to collect data from. And if you're currently capturing duplicate data, you can drill down into your snapshot and use fully qualified class and method name search on the stack trace for which the MIDCs are being executed. A little bit about data collectors. Any questions, please reach out to the customer success team, and we appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Have a great day.